Okay, girls, this is a beautiful problem, question 7. So, question 7, I'm going to read the problem. It says, the white squares represents number 0 and the blue square represents number 1. A pattern was created using the two types of squares. The number of blue and white squares in each line is determined by a rule that connects the two variables. Okay, so the first thing is that we can get very confused of thinking what are the pronumerals here, because we have a lot of numbers, right? At the beginning it says that the white squares represent number 0 and the blue squares represent number 1, but to be honest, that's not relevant to the pattern that we're going to find. It's beautiful because it talks about binary numbers, and we have done binary numbers when we did IT together, but it's not relevant to the problem. Also, we have these lines here that says line 0, line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4, line 5, and that gets confusing. But if we read the problem carefully, I'm going to read the last sentence. It says the number of blue and white squares in each line is determined by a rule that connects the two variables. So they're giving us there what are the two variables. So the two variables are going to be, I'm going to write it here, let x be the number of blue squares in each line. Okay, and let y be the number of white squares in each line. Okay, girls? Now, they don't ask us to fill a table, but it's a good idea to do it now. I'm going to write with red the table. I'm going to try it with red so that I don't get confused, because I'm going to write 3 lines here. The first one is going to be called line, the one that I'm going to refer to this information that we have here. And I know that this one is not related to the pronumerals that I'm going to use. It's just information, okay? So I have the one there, a line. And how many lines do I have from 0 to 5? 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Great. My lines are so straight, I'm amazed. Why am I not a painter? Okay, now I'm going to have my two variables that are important here. The first one is blue square. The second one is white square. Okay, and we're going to separate them here. And you can see that I always like to write my pronumerals in the table as well. Also, only because it makes things more clear for me. I like to write them with a different color. So I'm going to say this one is X, this one is Y. Okay, good. So I'm thinking about the relationship between these two pronumerals, X and Y. This line, these numbers are not going to mess with my head. They are not related, are just information, okay? So let's think. How many blue ones do I have in the first line, which is line 0? 1. How many white ones? 0. Good. In the second one, I have 3 of blue. 1. In the next one, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 is 1, 5. 5. I'm going to continue counting here just so I don't get confused. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm guessing the next one is going to be 9. What are you guessing, girls? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're geniuses. And this one, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Gotcha! So we can already write that down. We have here a pattern of plus 2. Plus 2, plus 2, plus 2, and forever plus 2. Okay, great. Now, with the white ones, I can see that that's very clear. That is like I have 0 here, but I had then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Remember that when we worked in the previous one, I don't write this sequence because it's very obvious that it's going one by one. And I'm not thinking about the relationship here. I'm thinking about the relationship between X and Y, okay? So I'm going to continue my table in the same way that we have done before. So I'm going to write here, continue this table here. So if we write this one, oh my goodness me, if I say razor please, okay, so if I say that this one is going to be if I say that this one is Y, then this one becomes 2Y. You see what happened here? Usually we have X equals to Y equals to something X, but in this case, in the way that I defined the pronumerals, it went the other way around. How do I know that I had to write here Y? Because the Y is the one that is like independent. It's an independent variable. It's not defining the number of blue squares. The number of blue squares is defined by the number of white squares. So then we look at the horizontal relationship. What happened here? I had to, if I multiply 2 by 0, I have 0. What did I have to do to adjust it? Add 1. And we can see that the same here happens here. 1 times 2, 2, plus 1, 3. So we don't have to write that forever. We already know that this bit is going to go here, plus 1. We can confirm it with the last one. If I do 2 times 5, it's going to be 10, plus 1 is going to be 11. Fantastic. And then the exercise is asking us to draw the next two lines. So we can do that. Let's do it with this, with the blue ones. So the next line, we think, okay, the next line will be 13, and the next one will be 15. Yeah, and this one will be 6, and this one will be 7. And if I check with my rule that I wrote here, so if I do 6 times 2, 12, 13, beautiful. And if we are going to confirm that, so I'm going to try to do it very quickly because this is going very fast. So I go, so how many did we say? Sorry, 13. Yeah, 13. So maybe 12 I have to write here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then goes the white ones that have to be 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and at the end of another blue one. Okay, this looks a little bit messy, but you get the idea, girls.